Hello everybody, welcome back to another election prediction video. This time we're going to be taking a look at Pete Buttigieg versus JD Vance for these 2028 election prediction. Now Pete Buttigieg, he is a pretty charismatic individual. I did see him speak to Trump supporters before, and I saw him went on Fox News before, and I do think he is pretty charismatic, and I do think that would help him in the election. However, I do think most voters, or just a majority of voters, would probably be uncomfortable with electing a gay person as president. I just think that America probably isn't ready to elect a gay person. I mean, America hasn't even elected a woman president yet, so I think it's going to be a bit harder for America to just suddenly elect someone that's a gay, and I think that'll probably hurt them because I do think a lot of them just wouldn't really consider him just because of that reason. But let's get right into this. I do think he is charismatic, and I do think that would help him in some swing states. Let's start off with Florida and Texas. I just think they're just safe red states. I don't think Pete Buttigieg has any southern appeal at all, so I don't think he can make these states really that competitive to begin with. In New Mexico and Virginia, I think he'd win these two states, and he would win Nebraska second. I think he would actually improve in this suburban district a little bit. He'd have an improvement over Harris. In New England, I actually think he would do well here. I think he would do good in Maine, and I actually think he would do better than Harris in the state of New Hampshire. Again, he did very well in New Hampshire in the Democratic primary, so I just think overall he'll do well with independents in this state. New Jersey, I think it's just going to be like Virginia from now on, so I think it's going to be a likely blue state, but keep an eye on it. The party registration numbers, if they continue to trend towards the Republicans, it could turn into a lean blue state going forward. In the southern states, again, I just don't think he has southern appeal. I don't think he'll really turn out black voters in either of these two states either. He didn't do well with black voters in the Democratic primary, so I think both these states are just lean Republican. I just don't think he'll do well in them. In Nevada and Arizona, I think you'd do better than Harris in the state of Arizona. I remember Biden's internal polling for 2024 had Pete Buttigieg doing better than Harris in most swing states, but I still think Vance would win the state of Arizona against him just because of how many Republicans there are in terms of party numbers in the state of Arizona at this point. Nevada, again, it's just trending more and more to the Republicans. They just keep gaining those party registration numbers. They're poised to overtake the Democrats eventually in that state. So I just think it would be a lean red state as well. And then we come down to the Rust Belt. So in Minnesota, I actually think he would improve upon Harris's margin here. So I think he would definitely do better in Minnesota. In Wisconsin, I think he would actually win this state against JD Vance. Currently, he lives in Michigan. But in Wisconsin, he just did well in the internal polling that I've seen in Wisconsin. So I don't know. I think he just does well white voters in general here. So I do think he'd be able to carry the state of Wisconsin. Again, he is also very charismatic. So he'd be quite formidable to go against J.D. Vance in a debate. And honestly, I think Pete Buttigieg would probably come out the winner of that debate just because of how often he debates in general. He just usually wins them. However, in Michigan, it is his home state, but I think it'd still be very close just because Trump actually won here by a similar margin to what he won Pennsylvania by. So it really depends on how Pete Buttigieg does with Muslim voters or Arab voters in the state of Michigan. Will the Democrats be able to win them back, especially with Trump's policy on Gaza, which is probably going to be more negative for them than positive? He'll probably just let Israel do whatever they want there. So I think with gauging that possibility, I think Muslim voters and Arab voters be more likely to go back to the Democrats if the Republicans just continue to let Israel do whatever they want. So I think Pete Buttigieg, also he's very charismatic. I think he'd probably be able to win back Michigan here. However, Pennsylvania, the rural parts of Pennsylvania are super red, and I think again, Pete Buttigieg being gay is probably going to hurt him in the very rural parts of Pennsylvania. The parts we'll do better in is probably the suburbs. That's for sure. Maybe urban areas, too, will see a bit of an improvement because Democrats really lost a lot of support in the urban areas just all over the place. So I think Vance is probably going to win Pennsylvania. The real question is if it's by a lean margin or tilt margin here. And I'm probably going to go with a lean margin. I think it's going to be like a 1.5% victory here for J.D. Vance in the state of Pennsylvania, just because I don't think Pete Buttigieg could really stop all that bleeding going on in the rural areas of Pennsylvania. I think he'll just keep continuing to get worse. So he has to see like very large improvements in the suburbs of Pennsylvania. I just have doubts about whether that could happen here. So that's my prediction if it was Pete Buttigieg versus J.D. Vance. Vance probably wins the popular vote by like 0.5% just looking at this map. He probably wins it narrowly. Other than that, that's my prediction for this video. Let me know in the comments below what you think the map would be like and any other video recommendation ideas. If you're new to this channel, I'd highly recommend subscribing. I'd greatly appreciate it. Other than that, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.